Hey Krishna, how are
Okay.
you?
Hi, Salesh. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, Krishna, can you just brief me about yourself? I mean, where are you from and what is your background?
Okay. Um, so basically, I'm located in Miami, Florida. So
Okay.
I've been working as an Oracle apps consultant from the past 6 years. So focusing on more into the technical side. So currently, I'm trying to move from technical side to functional
Okay.
side of applications. So kind of I got in touch with Vijay and we had a financial functions training. Um, um, in the past. So we wanted to hear the demo and see how it could help us to grow in the career, especially on the functional side.
Okay. Okay. So you are completely into technical, right?
Kind of techno-functional. I don't. I'm basically into O2C cycle and P2P. I never ever got in HRMS side.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of a techno-functional. I know the process flows, how the system works, but I haven't handled a pure functional role yet. So it's
Okay.
kind of trying to migrate to the functional.
Fine. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Salish, basically, these were two guys, Krishna and Harsha, and I trained them on financial functional side around 4 to 5 months back on release 12. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so they were quite satisfied with the training, and then they requested me to um arrange the training on human capital management. They are right now interested on this side.
Okay, fine. Got it. Got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
whatever you're gonna talk or anything like that, it's kind of we can catch up with what you're talking about. So it's not like we are not freshers. So we
Okay.
are into the system. So
Okay, fine. Fine, that's fine. So let me brief you about my profile. I've been working for almost 10 years as of now. So 6 years was completely into as a HR business partner or HR generalist. And after that, I moved into as a functional consultant, getting into Fusion. So I don't have experience in any other ERP solution. I have experience as an end user in SAP, and also I have worked on Oracle HRMS as an end user, not on a boss scale. But my predominant experience is completely as a functional consultant in Fusion HCM. So I'll just take you through the presentation. I mean, you will have brief information about what is cloud and all initially. And then I will cover the topics which I will be covering in Fusion HCM. So So I don't think you need any brief introduction about what is cloud and what are the benefits of cloud and all, right? So that you would be aware of, or do you want me to cover that topic?
yeah, we would like to just go a bit around how the architecture works in application. Though we
Okay, no
know,
problem.
but if you could just
Sure, sure. I'll just brief about that. Okay, so if you see in Oracle Fusion HCM, these are the topics which are covered normally, I mean, as a product. So it is like Fusion HCM is broadly classified into workforce deployment, workforce development, and compensation management. So if you see in workforce deployment, we have something as global HR, which is the main and base for Fusion HCM or any HCM product which you take, which is also known as core HR. So the global human resource is nothing but core HR module. You have payroll and localization and workforce deployment. Along with that, you will also have time and labor and also absence management. So in this session, we will be covering this core HR from workforce deployment. And next we have workforce development. In that we have something as talent review, performance management, goal management, succession management. So if you're taking this course, I will be covering the entire suite of workforce development. And then we have compensation management. In this, we have compensation, which will include individual compensation and workforce compensation. And we will also have something as benefits, incentive compensation, and total compensation statement under compensation management suite. Whereas in this course, I will be covering compensation, which is the major aspect in Fusion HCM. In this compensation, we will have individual compensation and workforce compensation. If you see along in compensation management itself, we have something as benefits. Benefits are considered as a separate module itself in Fusion HCM because it is mostly implemented by not the same consultants. Mostly there will be like different consultants, one who takes care of compensation management implementation and one person taking care of benefits implementation. And if you see this incentive compensation, though it comes under Fusion HCM, it is implemented mostly by the CRM consultant because it covers mostly for the sales employees. So the incentive compensation, the configuration will be done by the CRM consultants. And finally, you have something as span business process. You have profile management, fast formula, and workforce directory management. So it will be covered along with our core HR topic itself. I won't go brief into fast formula creation and all, but I will tell you how to create and all. I mean, what is the place and what is the purpose of creating fast formulas. So these three topics like fast formula, profile management, and workforce directly comes along with any of the module which the client selects. If a client selects to have workforce deployment as a module which they want to implement, along with that they will be getting the fast formula, profile management, and workforce directory management. Similarly, for if they are going only with workforce development module, they will get these features along with that. Any questions here?
So basically all these four modules that you just spoke about, workforce deployment, workforce development, and all these are like modules within HCM.
Yes, correct.
And these are the submodules within the main module.
Each module. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the client has the ability to choose any of the module out of the four.
Any of the module or all of the modules.
Okay.
So that is the advantage of Fusion. If you see, I mean, like when Oracle came with Fusion as a product, so the main thing they advertised or marketed was like two things. One is Fusion is a product combination of both Oracle EBIS and also PeopleSoft HCM. So what they were telling is they have taken the best features of Oracle HRMS and PeopleSoft to get it into a new product known as Fusion. Okay, that was the main thing. And when they marketed, they wanted to make sure they get the new customers and also use this product to sell it for their existing customers also. So they came up with a feature known as coexistence. Coexistence is nothing but giving Fusion product along with the existing product which the client is using. For example, if you see in this architecture, this is known as Fusion coexistence model. If you see on the bottom, it is like either PeopleSoft, EBIS, or JDE. And on the top, the red color is nothing but the product of Fusion. So if the client is already using Oracle HRMS, PeopleSoft, or JD Edwards in HR, they can use the same product. Along with that, they can either use the features, few of the modules used in Fusion, like compensation management or talent management module, and link it with the existing system of EBIS or JD or PeopleSoft where they are maintaining the core HR system, and they can exist together. So the client doesn't have to pay the license charges or application fees for the entire suite of Fusion HCM itself. They can just select certain modules of Fusion and use it with the existing system. So how does it work? I mean, you can maintain the core HR system, core HR information of the employees within the EBIS or PeopleSoft, and that information will be moved into Fusion, where we will be implementing core HR in a not elaborate manner, so that we can have the details about jobs or people. People is nothing but the employees and the organization structure as a placeholder in Fusion HCM, in core HR of Fusion, and then that information can be used for this one, performance management or compensation management, or both these modules if the client has selected both the modules, and that can be processed within Fusion, and the end result can be used to extract and move back into the existing system of EBIS or PeopleSoft. So as of now, what we have, there are two tools which are available in Fusion. One is like loading data from different, existing system or the legacy system into Fusion is HDL, HCM data loader, that will be used to move data into Fusion. And for extracting data from Fusion into the legacy system or into the different product which they are using is HCM extract. So these are the two tools that are used as of now. So that is one feature, that is Fusion coexistence. So if the client wants to have the existing system to be used already, along with that, if they want to have any specific module to be selected, they can go for Fusion coexistence model. If the client is a new client, they don't have any existing ERP solution, or they are using existing ERP solution, but they want to move completely to a new system, then the client can go for Fusion HCM as an entire suite, where they can configure the entire complete suite of core HR, and then if they prefer to have talent management and compensation management along with that, they can use Fusion as an entire suite also. So any questions here?
Yeah, so what if the client decides to move to Oracle Fusion applications, then what is the need of this coexistence model? As you said, there are some mechanisms to extract the data from the legacy system, whatever the legacy system is, like PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, or EBS. So once we extract the data and we migrate the data to Fusion applications, then what is the need of this model?
This module itself, you are asking, right?
Yeah, the coexistence model.
Yeah, see, the feature of Fusion is like they have elaborate features of talent management as a module and also compensation management. If you see it in EBIS, it is completely different, and also in PeopleSoft, the part of talent management and compensation management is not highly user friendly, or UI is not as appealing when compared to what we have it in Fusion. I mean, the feature of performance management in Fusion is much better when compared to PeopleSoft or EBIS. So that is the reason the Fusion has come up with this product, and they are selling this product. So what happens is, if the client is already using core HR in EBIS, they don't have to buy the entire license for core HR, talent management, and compensation management entirely as a product. So what they can do is, they can buy only talent management suite, where they can perform the performance management of their entire employees within Fusion. So the client doesn't have to buy a license for core HR separately. So because the cost will be more. So they are already happy with the existing system of EBIS for using the core HR activities. So what they will be doing is, they will have the product as it is. They will just move the data from EBIS to Fusion for processing the talent management aspect, and that will be talent management aspect will be performed in Fusion, and the end result, like the final rating of the performance management, will again back to EBIS. So the end, yeah.
It's like integration. Mostly the integration between the legacy and the Fusion applications. Okay.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. Main aspect of Oracle was to cater to both the existing customers and also to new customers. So they wanted to tap the market as much as possible. So that's how they brought in this Fusion itself.
Okay.
So let's see what are the topics we'll be covering here in Core HR. So I'll start with how to create a user account and create the password, reset the password. So that will be in Oracle OIM, and then we will have something as implementation project. So implementation project is nothing but we will be creating a project. In that implementation project, an implementation manager can track or assign certain tasks to different implementation consultants. And once the implementation is completed in staging system or testing system, that can be done, the implementation project can be exported and then imported into a production instance. So this implementation project is created for this aspect so that the task can be easy. You don't have to repeat each task while using the, going into different applications like test and production. Normally, for any client, there will be three instances which will be given by Fusion. One is staging, and there is testing instance, and then is production instance. And right now, Fusion is into release 11. So we actually started with release 3, and now it is release 11. So normally per year, there will be 2 releases coming up. So we are expecting release 12 in another 6 months. So next is we will be covering Fusion Enterprise Structure. This enterprise structure is nothing but the entire HR setup which we will be covering. So where we will be looking into enterprise, creation of enterprise, which is also known as ultimate legal entity. Then we will be seeing each concept of division, legal address, legal entity, business unit, departments, grades, jobs, grade rate ladder. Then we will be covering positions. So entire concept of enterprise structure. So what I will be covering here in the enterprise structure is each topic, along with that the general meaning, not the Fusion related meaning, general meaning of each topic. Because when I'm covering this topic, you should understand the concept of HR also before we get into the Fusion as a topic. So you have to relate that, and then I will be covering each topic there. And then there is a tool named Enterprise Structure Configurator, which will help you to, which will guide you to create this structure one by one. You will be having a guided process of creating enterprise, legal entity, division, etc. So there will be a guided process which you can create the entire enterprise structure. Either you can use this tool, that is Enterprise Structure Configurator tool, to use the guided process to create your enterprise structure, or you can do it one by one, creating each work structure one by one, like manage enterprise and everything. So this you will be understanding when I cover the topic. Then I will be also taking you through the entire HR transaction, like hiring, transfer, promotion, termination, global transfer, etc. So this will be helpful for you as an end user also. It is not only as an implementation consultant, or it will be helpful for you as an end user, and also for your UAT testing, where you can prepare the test cases. So for that also it will be helpful. So that first you will be creating the enterprise structure entirely, then you will be hiring an employee into the system. So you will understand what is the purpose of creating those divisions of legal entity and where it is coming when I'm hiring an employee. And then we have something.
And just to give you the heads up on this implementation project, Krishna, in release 12, you might have heard about one module family, that is project accounting. right? So it is nowhere related to that project accounting module family. In release 12, that project module family is having few modules under it, like project portfolio management and project financial management and etc. So this implementation project in Fusion is the implementation project for particular enterprise or for particular business. We have to define one implementation project so that entire team working on the implementation project and the project manager and other people who are associated with the project can have insight in the at the central place in at the common place. So this is nowhere related to that project accounting or project related module families.
Okay.
Salish, you can go ahead.
Then I will be also covering a topic as reference set. So if you see, as I told you, Fusion is combination of two different products. One is eBus and also PeopleSoft. When I'm covering the topics, if you see, core HR. If there is a group of trainers who are available, one is having experience in eBus and one person having experience in PeopleSoft, they will be able to relate this as it is. If you see the core HR aspects of complete Fusion is almost similar to PeopleSoft, whereas if you see the compensation part or payroll part, creation of elements and everything, that will be almost similar to eBus. Core HR, PeopleSoft, and elements, everything is similar to eBus. And this concept of reference set is coming from PeopleSoft. So this we need to understand because this is a very good topic. It will restrict the access of certain people based on their category which you give it in reference set. Like for example, if you want a HR person to view only the information about US employees, then it can be restricted for only US employees and all. And if you want to want a group of people to view only company information about the company which is having operation in India, so you can restrict that. So this topic I will also cover because I mentioned this as a separate topic because it is a bit confusing to understand, but I will make sure you get a hold of it. So also when I'm covering this enterprise structure as a topic, you will be finding like legal entity. I can give you an example of each when you're creating a company or when there is an organization XYZ. So what is legal entity? What do you consider when you have to create a legal entity? So those aspects has to be taken care before as a functional consultant. So functional consultant role is like you should have around 60 to 70% of business understanding, and then understand the concept and understand the idea behind the client itself when they are giving the requirement gathering. When we have the requirement gathering session, and then we have to understand the concept of that organization structure, and then only then once we understand that structure, we'll be freely able to implement. So implementation as in the product. I don't want to explain. You will be already having understanding of this since you're already a consultant. So implementing is easy. It is almost like a data entry. But to get the data entry correctly, you should understand the concept of the function aspect of the organization. So that you have to take care of. Then after reference set, I will be covering worker self-service and manager self-service, like what worker can do when he has access to the core HR system, and what manager can do, like he can promote the employee, he can approve his leaves or something, and he can also, there's like a concept known as My Portrait, where the employee can view all the information of himself, he can update his phone number, update his address, so all the concept will be covered here in the self-service concept. And then we have Fusion employment model, that is like we have 2-tier model, 3-tier model, and we should also understand when do you want to go for 2-tier and what is the purpose of this 3-tier model. When you get the requirement gathering, go for requirement gathering meeting with the client, you have to understand whether you have to go with 2-time model or 3-time model based on the discussion which you have. So there are certain discussion points which you need to consider and questions you need to ask to the client before you decide on that. Because this model selection has to be confirmed before you get or start the implementation project. Because once you set this model, it is very difficult for you to come back to the other model. I mean, either you go for 2-time model or 3-time model. If you select one model, it is very difficult for you to come back to the other model. So that decision point has to be considered. That will also be covered. And then we have two concepts here in Fusion, like person number and worker number. I will brief you about that's an important topic. So person number is nothing but you will be creating, I mean, there is automatic number, but it can be automatic or a manual number generation, but the number is given to any person which you create in Fusion. That is either an employee or the employee's contact. Contact is nothing but dependence. If you're adding the dependence information in Fusion, even for them the person number will be generated. So there will be a confusion like what is person number and what is worker number. So I will be covering that also. And also basic features of Fusion security, where you will be having like job roles, duty roles, data roles, and also abstract roles. So I will touch point on those things, and I will also brief you how to create this each roles. So you will have a basic understanding of Fusion security also. So these are the topics which will be covered in core HR. So do you have any question in this?
Yeah, I mean, the way you explained the topics, it's clear to me, but yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay. And then I will be covering talent management. As I told you, talent management, I will be covering the entire suite. So these are the topics which are covered. Profile management, where we will be having content type, content item, and rating models. So these topics you won't understand until I get into the, training, where you will also have goal management. Like, so before a person starts the performance management, he has to set the goal management. So then there are like different types of goals, like performance goals, development goals. Then we have goal plans, goal library. Then in performance management, you have to set entire process flows, document types, templates, so that it can be used by the employees. So this concept also, before you get into implementation, you have to understand what these each topics are before you decide to get into the implementation of the project. So you will understand more only once I get into this topic. I mean, because since you are not from a background of HR, so you won't be able to get the exact feature. But though you would have already undergone the performance cycle in your system, in your company, right? The end-to-end performance management system. Have you gone through that?
Not really.
Okay. So there is like you have in performance, if you see, that is like you have to, as an employee, you have to give self-rating to yourself and your comments. Then that will go back to your manager. He will again rate you. Then there will be a review meeting held, and then there will be a final rating given to you. So that will become a rating for your future reference for your increase in salary or giving bonus. So that's how companies use the performance management. So they will track the performance of an employee in due course of time. So that is covered in performance management or talent management module. Along with that, there are other topics under talent management where you can create questionnaires. So when you are asking to rate your employee as a manager, you can send a questionnaire to him where you can ask specific questions about how is the performance of this employee, where do you want to rate him this much, has he performed very well for past 6 months. It is like free kind of text, or it can be a radio button of choices of questions, choices of answers which you're giving. So for creating that particular template, there are steps like you have to create the templates, and then you have to assign it to the managers. So those kind of topic will be covered in the questionnaire. And I will be also covering the entire demo as after creating the performance document, goal management, everything. I will show you a demo how an employee can get in, how he will be giving his self-evaluation, and after that, how when he submits, what are the tasks a manager should perform. So that entire flow of performance will be also taken care. Then you will be having something as talent review. That's a new feature which is available in Fusion, and I don't think it is available in any other product of HCM. So this is talent review. It is mainly for reviewing the talent in the company, reviewing the employees in the company, and to retain those employees in the organization. What are the steps they have to take to retain the employees? So those things can be discussed in this particular topic as talent review. It is a very good feature. I mean, it's an interesting feature which is available in our talent management module. And then we have something as succession planning. Succession planning is nothing but, for example, if you want to replace a CEO, if you think he's going to leave the organization, or if you want to get a backup for a CEO position, so you will be using this succession planning. You will be tracking around for more than, who is the best successor for that particular position or that particular person. You can identify those people. If you identify around 5 to 10 people, you can track goals for them. You can assign goals to them, track for them, and you can find out which is the best suitable person out of those 5 or 10 people who can replace the CEO. Like trying to find a best fit for that position if that particular CEO lives, or if there is a empty vacant position, and who is the best person to fit that particular position. So one of the major example can be of Tata's. So this is the major example for succession management. I mean, it is not only in Fusion, and it is a very good case study in the case of as a HR person itself. It was like, if you see around 3 to 4 years back, it was a major thing that was coming up in the newspapers and all. So who will replace Tata as the head of the entire Tata Steel? So it was Cyrus Mistry who was suitable for that particular position. So they identified many people, internal people and also external people. So they selected Cyrus Mistry based on his character and based on his competencies, based on his work experience. So that those concepts are decided to select a person for one particular position. So this succession planning will help you to track those employees, track the best people, and identify their competencies, compare their competencies, and identify who will be the best person who can fit for the vacant position. So that topic will be covered in succession planning. Though the implementation of succession planning is very small, but it will be very important for the organization to take a right decision. Then we have something as eligibility profiles. It will be almost similar to the EBIS eligibility profile concept, but in talent management, you have to run this as a batch process before you get into before you use this eligibility profile in talent management. And then we also have talent notifications, just a checkbox. We'll understand how you will be creating this notification, or enable or disable this notifications and all. So these are the topics which will be covered in talent management. Any questions here?
So the futures of this talent management in Fusion applications. So primarily from which ERP are those futures extracted? Like, is it from primarily from EBS HR or?
It is both. It is both. Oh, if you see, it is both, and better feature from both of them. So that is the thing in Fusion. So maximum, if you see, there is performance management in EBIS also, because in my current client place, they were using EBIS initially. Now they have moved into Fusion. So most of the employees come up saying us like they didn't have much of the feature in EBIS, which is far, far better in Fusion. One is look and feel, that you will know when I show the on the application. Apart from that look and feel, it is also the the usage, the simplified usage and tracking of the system of the rating of the employees will be much better in Fusion. So that's what it is.
Okay.
So next, the topic which I'll be covering is module which I'll be covering is compensation management. So this compensation management is not payroll. There is completely a different understanding. I mean, few people understand that compensation management is payroll. It is not so. In a company, the company or a client uses this compensation management to give salary increases to the employees or to give lump sum bonus or shares using this compensation management. After you perform this compensation management, the change in salary and everything will be moved into payroll, and then the payroll will be taken care of. So this compensation management comes into picture before you run the payroll. So this is also a different topic which is available in HR as a concept. So we will be covering what compensation management is as a general, and then we will also cover what is compensation management in Fusion and what are different roles which are available in compensation management in Fusion. And then we will start with salary basis, creating salary basis, creating elements, how to link elements with salary basis, how salary grades, grade rates are linked with salary basis. So what is the purpose of linking salary grade rates with salary basis? Everything will be covered in define and manage base pay. Then we will be covering individual compensation and workforce compensation. If you see any of the clients who wants to go for compensation management, they mostly go for workforce compensation. Individual compensation is an added feature which is available that can also implemented based on the client's requirement. So what is the difference between individual compensation and workforce compensation is, in individual compensation, a manager can give spot bonuses for the employees, and it is not given to entire organization at a time. If I have around 10 people under me, if I'm as a manager, if I find one person is doing extremely well and I want to award him, and if I have a concept of this kind of concept available in my company or my organization, like I have authority to give a spot bonus for a person who has achieved excellently well for a particular month. I can select that person and give one amount or $1,000 as a spot bonus for him. So that feature is available in individual compensation module. Whereas if you cover workforce compensation is given to the entire group of the company, like salary increase at the end of the year or after the performance appraisal. So if I want to increase the salary of the entire employees, then that will be covered under workforce compensation. So that is the difference between individual compensation and workforce compensation. But the workforce compensation is much elaborate, and there are many steps when compared to the individual compensation. Like you will be having budgets, work compensation, worksheet design. So entire topics will be covered in this workforce compensation. And we have linking of performance rating with compensation management. It is already internally integrated. If you want to use this concept, I will be covering that also, how to integrate and how to display the rating, performance rating in the compensation management. So that will also be covered. And then we will be configuring the entire workforce compensation each step by step. And you will understand what is the role of administrator for the workforce compensation, what an administrator can do. Like if a person is not eligible for compensation for one particular year, but the management or the management decides that that person needs to be covered in the current compensation management, the administrator can force him to be eligible for that particular compensation. That is like they can override the eligibility criteria. So those all things can be taken care in administrator workforce compensation. So those topics will also be covered. Then finally, we will also see something as total compensation statement. Total compensation statement is nothing but a document where you will be having the entire cost of the employee, which is the cost of employee and the employer. So entire CTC can be covered in this total compensation statement. It can be given as a statement for the employees at the end of the year, showing what is the contribution of the employer and the employee, and what are the benefits he has been given as an employee by the employer. So everything can be described in a single sheet, where at a single look of that particular sheet by the employee, they will understand what is the cost borne on those employees by the company. So that can also be covered. That will be also covered in this particular presentation. So this is general talking about, screenshots which I covered. As I told you, the core HR demo, we have something as my portrait. So when an employee gets into his login, he will have something known as my portrait in his home page. So once he clicks it, he will be having these all cards coming up. These are known as portrait cards. So each card will have each feature, like his contact information can be viewed in this particular contact information. Contact information is nothing but his address, email ID, his phone number. He can edit it, or he can update that particular information. Then he can see his development goals and his performance goals, everything coming under development and growth card. This is the card which is enabled. Once I select this card, I will be able to see these like this, where I can see my competencies, where I can see goals. So I will also cover what is the difference between competency and what is goals. Then if he goes to employment card, he will be able to see his entire employment information, like his jobs, grade, his position, what he is using, and other feature, who is his manager. So those things are covered under employment. Then experience and qualification. If the client is maintaining this information, employee will be able to see this information, his previous experience and what is his qualification. The employee can update his qualification and previous experience, so those can be done. And appreciation, this is known as kudos. Kudos is I have for this particular kind, we have renamed it to appreciation. Kudos is nothing but, as a employee, you can give appreciation or thank you for your peer or your colleague. Or as a manager, the manager can give appreciation to his subordinate using this particular card. I will also brief you how this can be done. And also there are something as document records or personal information card. All the cards are not available here. That depends upon what the client wants. So few of the cards have been removed in this configuration of this particular screenshot. So I will tell you all the cards, what are each cards used and what is the purpose of each card. So that will be completely covered in Core HR. Then this is a page where an employee can see entire personal information. There will be a card in the home page, icon in the home page known as View Personal Information. Once the employee clicks that particular icon, he will be able to see a window like this, where he can have all the information about himself. So what is the benefit of this card is, like, if the data is wrong with HR, at least the employee can have a look at it and ask the HR to update this particular information. Or if the client has a feature where the employee can himself update this information, he can have a look at it and go to certain places and update this information. So with this, what happens is the HR can make sure the entire data in the system is correct and up to date. So that can be taken care by using this particular View Personal Information card. Then this is the talent management related. This is the goal page of an employee. What is a goal? You will have something as weightages. What is the purpose of weightages? What is the status of each goal? So these all can be covered in that in the talent management topic. Apart from that, the feature available in Fusion is BI, which is an integrated part, but this is a technical concept. Just giving a heads up, like what are the features available in Fusion. So when you go for Fusion as a product, it will also come with BI tool. There are two types of BIs which are available. One is OTBI and another is BIP, BI Publisher. So OTBI, it is a drag drop feature where if you give access to the HR people, they can just drag and drop few feeds which they want to create a report. or if you want to use a complex report, very interactive report, then you have to use BIP to create the reports, where you have to write SQL codings based on the table and also the attributes which you want to select. So that can also be created using BI. So these are the topics which I will be covering. So any questions right now?
Yeah. So what about customizations?
See,
customization.
Yeah, customizations. For example, as I told you, the this card, if you see in normal Fusion application as a Fusion product, you will not find this as appreciation. It will be given as kudos. So I can change it to application. The names can be changed, or I can hide certain features here. So those are the customizations which are available in Fusion. So Fusion, I think you know it's a cloud product, SaaS product. So you cannot have different page like similar. If you want if your client says that I want a different page, like where I can have these cards on the left hand side as a row, and I want the person information about the employee which is given here and this place, this cannot be done, because SaaS is out of shelf product which the client has to implement as it is. We can slightly change features which they want to have, but customizations are not allowed in SaaS as a product.
Okay.
Not only with Fusion, if you go with SuccessFactors or even Workday, anything, they cannot go for complete customization.
Okay.
So there are something available, like if you see cloud as a product, it is divided into three aspects. Oracle sells cloud in three aspects. One is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, infrastructure as service. So one is SaaS, like this one, software as a service. For that, one example is Fusion or SuccessFactors or Workday, where they will be giving the application in a web-based link. So the client doesn't have to use any database. They don't have to set up any server or anything. Everything will be set with the client. They can just use the web link to directly log into the application. So it is sold as a license is sold based on the users, number of users. So that is SaaS. If you want, if the client is more particular about changing they want a different look and feel, or they want a new page to be created. For example, for my current client, they want certificate feature. That is, the employees have to go and request for salary certificate for embassy, or salary certificate for driving license, anything like that. They want it to be done within the Fusion itself. So for that, they have to use PaaS, that is platform as a service. So the application can be created in this platform as a service. So it will be a platform where the application can be created. For that, we have to use ADF and everything to create a separate page and create buttons and actions for that. Once an employee clicks that, there will be a new form open where they can request for a salary certificate for different purposes. That request will automatically go to the HR specialist, where they will generate the letter, take a print out of that, seal it, sign it, and hand it over to the employee. So that kind of feature can be done only using PaaS. So if the client wants those features, then they can go for SaaS and PaaS, so that they can do their own customizations, etc. But the existing pages, that cannot be changed. If you want additional features, you can add it using PaaS. And the final thing is IaaS, infrastructure as service, IaaS, where this feature can be used, for example, data center. For example, if there is a client who are into manufacturing, or they are into retail chain, and they don't want to spend much of their money in maintaining a data center and all, so they will tie up with this company who is having a IaaS as a concept. They will just give them money, and the data center is completely maintained and taken care by the service providing company, and the client doesn't have to worry about those things and extra costs involved in those things. So that services can be used by the client. So that are the different aspects in cloud. So when they came with SaaS model, it was already clear, and whoever client goes with cloud or a SaaS product, SaaS as a product, they will already know that much of customizations are not possible using SaaS or cloud. If they have to go for that, then they have to go for on-premise product like PeopleSoft or Oracle Ebis. That's how it is.
Okay. So even if we are integrating the legacy system with Oracle applications, the reporting and all is going to remain the same, right? For example, yes. if we are integrating the Oracle HRMS to Fusion HRMS HCM, so the reporting is going to remain the same as it is.
See, that depends upon where do you want to get the reporting from. For example, if they want to have from Ebis itself or Oracle HRMS itself, then it will be same, because the data will be flowing from Fusion into Ebis. So there will be a placeholder in Ebis where they can maintain the data which is coming in from Fusion. So if you want to pull the data from Ebis itself, then you can use Ebis as an end place where you can generate the reports. But if you want them to generate the report directly from Fusion itself and dump the final report into Ebis, even that can be done. So you can either use the features of Fusion or features of Ebis to generate the report in the case of coexistence. If it is a greenfield implementation for Fusion HCM, then you can generate, the reports will automatically come with any of the modules which you are selecting. So you can use the reporting tool from that.
Okay. So how many years of experience do you have implementing HCM?
See, I have been implementing from December 2012.
Okay. So you currently you reside in US or
no, UAE. Dubai.
Excuse me?
Dubai.
Okay.
So anything else?
Okay, it was magnificent, Sailesh. It was great. Krishna, other things I think we can discuss outside, and we'll proceed with the discussion, and then based on that we can plan. I think you may not be having any questions by now. He has well explained. So still, if you have any queries, then you can reach out to us, and we can discuss and we can plan.
Sure. Thank you, Sailesh, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sailesh. I'll get in touch with you.
Sure, no problem.